Hi, my name is Brendan O'Rourke, and this presentation is for those of you who might be interested in being supervised by me. The next slide shows the combination of empirical phenomena, if you like, topics, methodology, and theoretical lenses that I use in my research. I then give you a list of projects that I supervised on thought, undergraduate and postgraduate master's programs that I think have made successful research projects. After that, I will make some comments on my PhD and MPhil research. That's kind of a pure research degrees, in other words, postgraduate research degrees. And lastly, I will list some of the publications that I've produced or been involved in producing recently to give you an idea of my research output. If after all that you're still interested in having your research supervised by me, please do feel free to get in touch. You'd be very welcome. Okay, so up above me in the circle, you can see the kind of empirical phenomenon I'm interested in, and the kind of everyday topics that I'm interested in. I'm very interested in experts and their audiences, including organizational and business consultants. I'm also interested in elites in the sense of small groups of people who have quite a lot of power in society. I'm interested in their formation and also their socialization and the way they work. I'm interested in meetings of all sorts and the communications within them and between them. I'm interested in a lot of communications in both social and traditional media. So those are the kind of topics or phenomenon that I'm interested in. And to examine those, I use a lot of theoretical resources that you see in the green circle above, and that is ideas of governance, legitimacy, democracy, those kind of issues that help us to understand things like trust, trustworthiness, and reputation. Um, I use Jessop's concepts of imaginaries, be they imaginaries of crises or economies or enterprise or strategy. Those are particular kind of theoretical approaches I would use. And I would also draw, I suppose, reasonably heavily on the commutative constitution of organizations theories of people like Luhmann and Couron and others. And then I tend to confine myself these days to methods that are under the idea of discourse analysis. And I might use either qualitative discourse analysis or corpus linguistics. I do occasionally other work that might involve measurements of elites and that kind of thing. I'm um, tend to use qual and quant, but generally my work is these days is abductive in the sense of I'm usually trying to develop theories rather than hypothesis test about theories. So that's, I suppose, a good way to get an overview of the kind of research I'm in. Some examples of successful research projects that were done by people engaged in thought programs. So either doing a master's with a minor dissertation or an undergraduate degree with a dissertation, of which we've a very good tradition here. These ones, I think, were all first class and therefore available through the library. And I think, while these are all novice researchers and, are by no means exemplary research because of that, I think it gives you an idea of what can be achieved in a successful thought program dissertation and gives you an example of the kind of work that I've supervised in that context. All of these folk were really good. you know, and I think produced interesting and very valuable work. In addition to supervising on thought programs, I supervise on PhDs. And I suppose if you're pursuing a PhD, it's well worth getting the match between you and your potential supervisor correct. I think it's probably one of the most important factors. Uh, for those of you interested in that, I lay out some things here, but really you probably should certainly have a good chat with any potential PhD supervisors you want to work with before making up your mind. But I just make some points about my style on this slide that you can have a look over or pick up at your leisure. Okay, so this is the final slide, and it just shows you some of the recent research publications I've been involved with. So that gives you an idea of some of my research output. And I suppose that's always handy to know when you're thinking about which supervisors you'd like to work with. So I hope you kind of take an active approach to investigating who you're working with, because I think you'll get much more out of your supervisor if you know your supervisor's strengths and interests and link up with those, link your research up with, or your interests up with those. You can learn more about me and my research on my personal website that I give at the end of this page, and you can see more on that. But in any case, best of luck in your research journey, and I hope you find a good match with whoever you're working with.